come here, tell us about what customer discovery you've done, what you've learned, that sort of thing. But we're only going to give you 3 minutes. And there's some people that go longer than 3 minutes last time. I want to get everyone up here this time. So, you got to contain yourself. You got to tell us just the basic details this time. Who would like to go first? All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Solutions. It's a continuation of last time's session of customer discovery. I added 2 more questions. And for yesterday, I managed to interview 5 people. Out of 5 people, I added 2 questions. So one was, how did you get to know about the kitchen garden as one of our services? Out of the 5, the 3 said through referrals, like they had seen my work somewhere, CPC, then at a friend's place, and tried to inquire about
We're drawing way too much power because now this is
they know like it's Claudia. So the 3 were referrals, they said they'll do it. Then the 2 said they knew about it from my statement. That is the one actually, so my actually the one that was. Then I also asked them, between the urban garden and field farming, what would you prefer? What would you adopt? First say, still do the urban garden. Then the one said, me I want to be a commercial farmer, so I'll go for the field. Because he felt doing something in a large scale to raise the cost of production, which is a bit lower for him. And at the end of the session, he makes more money. That's why I opted for that field. But the first said, they'll do the urban farming. One was beautifying the homestay. Then 2, they said it's less hectic, like easy to manage. You can wake up late and rush for work, even if you check on them. And that's what the books really want. They're like human beings to do that. So then the others, there's one who also said it's financially saving to money rather than working on a big scale. Then there's one who also said that especially during the harsh climate, you're not so much affected because you water them, you do irrigation. So at the end of the season, you're able to grow through your veggies throughout the season. So that's basically it. And then, have you changed your business model, Canvas? No. What are your plans? As I told you, I'm still opting to go back to do compound design, to do compound design. And then the channel, I said I'll do direct sales. Direct sales, that is from the agents, sales representative, agent, and extension staff. Why am I doing that? One, these people need to get first-hand feedback from the clients about the product, and they're all knowledgeable that we carry a lot of advisory services. So if we get some other person who is not over us with our products, we're not really at home.
That's it. That's 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I know why Claudia is clapping her hands so loudly. This time round, I didn't actually talk to clients, but I do hope that I'm going to put today's lesson and next lesson I'll be coming to present on Friday about this other one. Thank you. I hope I've used my 3 minutes properly.
My name is Dr. John Roran. I work for Attribution company limited. I managed to talk to 3 people. Since I'd already done 10, so I only did 3 more people on that. And I didn't actually change the set of questions because I needed to find a little bit much more. But this time around, the interviews are directed towards people in the corporate kind of, what we call the corporate farmers, and what they would actually want to ask. And I asked them the same set of questions that I asked previously, and I'm not going to repeat them for the interest of time. But I realized question of hybrid versus, open pollinated varieties was a huge concern because of the cost aspect attached to it. So it made us to actually start thinking wider about our digital airway systems that we're developing. And it is making us to focus more on that to make sure that the hybrids actually become much more affordable, and these farmers can save in small increments to be able to afford them, because they're high yielding, and then the returns at the end of the day will give the farmers to earn much more, and then the farms become much more productive. So we're going to focus more on developing the digital airway system to make it efficient, and it will make these farmers save in small increments to be able to afford these hybrids. That's one. Two, it will make our work as a company easy to manage our internal data. We'll be able to follow the metrics in terms of how many people we're able to serve on a daily basis, and then the sex disaggregated data right from male to female. And then also makes us understand how people spend their money, spending patterns, at what time certain people buy. Let me say women and men. So we're really going to focus more on that to make sure that we make these things much more affordable. So that was the major issue that came up, and it's making us to think a lot around our digital airway system. So if you ask me whether our business model canvas has changed, no, it has not. Rather, we're putting in a lot much more effort to make sure we build it better. What I plan to do in the next class, of course, is to refine what we're working on, to make it much more better, much more presentable. I think that's basically what we did previously, so I will not continue in the class. Thank you.
Thank you. Evening. Yeah, I wasn't around on Friday, so I managed to come up with a set of questions yesterday, actually, alongside my assumptions. So today, actually, I managed to move around and I interviewed one person. But the reason why I interviewed only one person is my target customers are really the busy people. So within these working hours, you can't really get them. But this is the right time. Like in this evening, I'll move around, and over the weekends, I know they have social clubs, which I know. So I intend to move around and do more research. But the one person I managed to encounter and interview, I had majorly 6 questions, and this is how she responded to them. How do you always get these on-demand goods like food, fruits, vegetables, so on? She told me she always walks to the market when she wants fresh food like fruits, vegetables, and she does so much of home cooking. And then often at times on the weekends she orders from these restaurants. So I went ahead and I asked, how often do you do this? Like acquiring these goods? She told me every day actually she acquires these goods. Then I went ahead and how readily does she get the information about these goods? Information about the description, the pricing. Yeah, and she told me this information is really not always available. Whenever she needs to get these goods, she always has to move to the market and then make choices from there, or move to the restaurant, look at the menus, so she can get that information that way. And how do you always, this was the next question, how do you always get to choose like the restaurant to order from, or the vendor to buy from these items? She responded that whenever she goes to the marketplace, she considers those who have like customer care, those who will actually respond to her questions, and also she's price sensitive. And then I went ahead. The question was, what challenges does she face
while acquiring these items and would like to see solved. She told me transport fares are a little bit challenging and they are higher, and also it is inconveniencing to always move there, so she always prefers to buy in bulk and then stocks at home. That way she can avoid these challenges. Then of course I asked her what does she think about the idea of
That's it?
convenient.
That's 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yeah, I want to be very sincere today. I didn't interview new customers or more clients, but I was so taken up by trying to put in place some orders that I received. But while I was at the farm serving customers, some of them, without me asking, pointed out something. The support after delivering the shipment. Because some of them are still not well versed. So I need to work around offering them that technical support up to harvest time. And also, some of them, they have not embraced these new technologies like irrigation. So I also need to package that. So I need to come as a full force. So I need to come with the equipment side in terms of machineries. Some of them in the land preparation, as I'm raising the seedlings, they are failing to organize their gardens. Okay? So they don't know where they can be able to get some of these equipment like tractor hire services. So I should link with some of these partners that offer these services so that I can be able to harmonize the field preparation and the seedlings so that by the time the seedlings are ready, they are just planted directly away. So I need to, there's a lot I've really learned that I need to put in place to make sure that the seedling business goes in swing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi people, the IT company, we make customized clothings. I didn't interview, but I think I learned something today from my clients. Sometimes clients come when they need a specific design, but it is very expensive. So sometimes I'm like, may not manage this. So today one client actually challenged me. He's like, why didn't you tell me the price? Because she found when I had made the exact thing she needed for some other person, but because for her, she seemed like she was not going to afford it. Yes.
You assumed.
Yeah, I assumed like she was over complaining. So I was telling her that no, if you needed the same design, this was going to cost a lot more money. So she was like, why didn't you tell me? So like to stop assuming for people, not to be in their heads, to tell them what exactly the prices are, and they decide whether they can afford it or not. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Still in the museum business.
Nothing has changed.
There's been a change. Good weather. I went to a primary school. Just to cut a long story short, the only new thing they told me there is, if we could also either make or procure cartoons, folk stories in cartoon forms, it's to go and show in the schools. The folk stories in top forms of cartoons. And in the secondary schools, I went to one secondary school where they have welcomed the idea of a mobile exhibition, which will cut down costs of moving a lot of students to a museum, the risks involved, and the difficulty of even managing large groups of students when they move out of school. And thirdly, they say it will be open to all the students in the school, and they are willing to pay for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Rebecca from Jim Vic. I learned that it is very important to deliver on time and getting the orders right, like really, really right. Then also having the paperwork. Otherwise, you end up spending.
My son was not feeling well. It was unfortunate, but thank God he's fairly well now. I am a bit confused, but I try to understand what people are talking about, interviewing our customers and finding actual feedback on their products and services we offer them. Because I was caught off because of my son's sickness, I never I was interviewed many people, but of course some of us have clients that you can interview on the phone. When they call you, they can easily give you a feedback on phone. And actually I do that almost on a daily basis. The lessons I've learned, one, because of, when we talk about GNAT, number one, many of my customers are telling me to do branding. That massive brand, I think you'll be selling. And the whole thing will move faster. But because you're not branding, people don't know that it's your handwork. Some people may think you're using a cold way to test your GNAT, but yet this is handmade. You know, if I would brand them, to actually give them also to give it weight, and it exposes me faster. So it is a lesson to all of us. Sometimes in our businesses, doing branding, to value addition of whatever thing we have, it's very important. It sells us faster. So now with issues of loans, I know some of you will bear witness. There are sometimes that your clients may want a quick loan or something faster. Because of the procedures that you take them through, someone may not be very comfortable, and yet this is an emergency. But you can also not be able to handle this customer at the customer's pace. You also have to consider protecting also the policies of maybe where you work. Then maybe I'm saying something. So sometimes customers put us on pressure, yet we are following procedures. So sometimes someone can tell you, but why can't you do for us this thing faster? You see, I'm going to miss money. But is it about missing money or following procedures? Because anytime someone can run away and not be accountable for what you're giving the person. So sometimes at the end of it all, you have to go slow. Number two, the tailoring courses that we're offering. Someone says the tailoring there is good, but why don't you do it for free? You understand? Someone tells you, why can't you do it for free if you're saying indeed you're improving the living of people or the standard of living of people?
That's it? 3 minutes.
I managed to interview 2 enterprises that are buying produce. And in my interviews, I discovered a lot of new things. That means always market food produce. Doesn't matter the quality. People are buying anything. So someone told me that that people just intentionally put impurities in their produce to gain weight, even knowing very well that even if the impurities are there are people who buy it because they need that grain. And what is produced all over the country is never enough to meet the target. I also learned that these processing companies and export companies come up to down to where the farmers are and buy directly from the farmers as well, which is a challenge for us because we are hoping to help them to ease that work to them. But one thing for sure is they don't have the time to trace back to the farmers after buying the grain. They just come, like on a day when they're buying, they come and the farmers bring the produce. But for us, our intention is to interact with the farmers all through the process of them growing the grains, and we want to create personal relationships with the farmers, which they are not doing, and at the end of the day they cannot trace back to whoever sold to them what is not really good quality, but we can. So we are hoping that we can help them with that problem. And then I inquired how they identify the good quality grain, or do they have like criteria? They are like, they just do visual inspection most of the time, and they do not do like maybe a scientific test from the buying points, like using moisturometer to test if these grains are properly dried and stuff like that. So that is something that we are hoping that we could help with from down there. And then so I asked if there's anything they would recommend that should be done more differently than their experience from buying grain, their current experience. They recommended that there should be a structured grain trade in Uganda, something that they believe that can only be changed if traders like us push for it.
That's it? That's 3 minutes?
Good evening, members.
Good evening.
My name is Edward Nancy. I work for African Sector. Our business is for input, agro-inputs. Like today we managed to interview only 3 people, but mostly I learned about some of the challenges we face, and also they try to recommend for us some things. About the challenges, we learned that farmers are willing to buy quality seeds, but they are not accessible. Especially the ones in the villages, they don't know where inputs are, so they cannot access it, and yet they wanted to buy. So I also learned that others simply don't buy the quality inputs because of high prices. So bringing from them variety of inputs is making them shift from one to another. I also learned that from the farmers that most of the input dealers, they employ salespersons who do not have enough knowledge to guide them. So if we try to do this for them, I think we can make a lot of business. From the challenges, we also learned that farmers have limited knowledge about growing of these quality seeds. They mostly use these traditional methods of growing crops. So those are some of the lessons we learned from their challenges. Then they also recommended for us some key things like employ knowledgeable salespersons to market their produce without using middlemen, and to offer for them free deliveries or take the services nearer to them. Also, they need the variety of inputs so that if they cannot afford hybrids, they switch to easy open pollinated varieties. Those are some of the recommendations we learned from the farmers. Some of them we have not been doing, but right now we are aware of them.
That's it. That's 3 minutes.
Samuel, I really didn't interview anyone specifically as planned. I got few challenges here and then and businesses, but yesterday I came across a customer who wanted a quick fix decor to be handled on Saturday. So I engaged this person. I'm going to compare what I got in my interaction with this person with what was asked of us, because there was this bit where they were like, make customer channels part of your customer discovery. The first we did was customer discovery. And in my interaction, I discovered this person was referred. Okay, so someone who saw my work somewhere referred this person to me on the basis that I could do something within their budget. So in looking at customer channel part of it, I think some work I did somewhere prompted one person to refer. So I saw a good lead there. That means the better you do your work, the easier it is for your clients and also other people to send referred to your clients. So it will be my responsibility to do another good job for this person on Saturday, that when the guests come, they will carry a good report for future reference. So that is the bit I learned from that, and I don't want to add on what I did not. Thank you.
Here.
I'm social distancing.
From who?
From the TV.
Yeah, so I deliberately, but with existing clients, we've had orders coming, and from the time we started working on the value proposition, kind of like back to the garage. I mean, thinking mode. The customers who ordered, first of all, already made us realize we've been looking at our customers as just a single segment. And therefore, our marketing messages have been going out as like it's the same people we're targeting. Yes, the segments are totally different and their needs are totally different. Like we sent out 2 orders. One, they were all bulk. But because we didn't pay attention to the personalized, we got feedback, which was the person didn't want branded because they were going to resell. So it means this was a retail customer, not an individual consumer. So that was the learning point for us, that we should dig deeper into understanding our customer segments and then get more personal, such that what we offer them is really exactly what that particular customer needs. So I think for us, a lot is going to change. We're going to have probably 2 business model canvases, value propositions for the 2 different customer segments we have. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Okay. My apologies for coming late because I got caught up for the last 2 days in the field. And secondly, surely I was unable to interact with clients for the last 2 days because of commitment yesterday and today. got caught up. However, I think I have a gap from my interaction last week with someone which I also think I needed to work on. One is the supply segment, my suppliers. Client, a friend whom I'm looking to, who is doing a bigger proportion. It's like, if I need to have a good quality and durable food crops, then I need not to look only within the Ugandan market for suppliers, but I need to expand my scope and look outside for high quality leather material to suit the needs of specific classes, not only the moderate class or the normal class, but high class profiles, so that it can also open for me wider gap for the market. And then changing business audio canvas, yeah. With this 1 week I've learned things. I've learned that I really still have a lot I need to do. Another one of my classmates has said, I still have, I got myself going back to the factory set module to self-dress I can fit in myself. And then what do I plan to do before next time? I look forward to have an interaction one-on-one and learn more new ideologies so as to see that I can hit the market at a vast scope. Thank you very much.
Good job.
So my name is Jonathan. So it's Jonathan. And I'm a graphics designer.
Customer discovery.
No, I have a code, and that code doesn't allow me to lie again. From an honest point of view, I would say I haven't talked to anyone. I wasn't here yesterday. Yeah, but I will tell you my previous conversations with some of the clients that I have. Yeah, so some of the qualities that some of our clients look for in a graphics designer are pretty person, very knowledgeable, and then they're also looking for someone who delivers real quick. Yeah, and that person has to be probably affordable. Yeah, but on the issue of affordability, we get to realize it can be expanded in so many ways, because a product that is affordable to him is expensive for the other. Yeah, and that has always been a challenge for me, because I have clients that are willing to pay 50,000 for an artwork, and there are those who struggle paying 20,000 for an artwork. Same. So I don't know how to. I don't know how to segregate. Thank you very much. Yeah. And then there is also this. I call it the Kampala syndrome, where most people in Arua think only good things come from Kampala, and then later on, when someone lands on your work, they're like, wait, did you do this from here, or because some of our works are really good, and I'm proud to say they're good. So thank you.
Thank you.
I also did the interview, but from the interactions I've had with people, I realized that most of my clients are corporate class, and also I was advised that I should focus more on the local foods, because it's something that is lacking so much. Okay, the local foods are there, but the challenge is some of the people are not young, they're not comfortable going to some places. So I learned I have to do a lot, maybe set up a good place, a nice place where someone feels comfortable and they feel really good like eating there. And I also learned that there is really something I'm good at. I'm supposed to maybe focus more on it, people know me for it. And I should try to give it maybe another chance. And that is preparing for Thailand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like I said before, we're going to work on this box today, this customer relationships, the part is right here. Everyone's got a handout in their folder that has this sort of thing in it. This is the lecture, we're going to go over this. That image you just saw, that's, some people call it the sales funnel, it's the get, keep, grow funnel. So it's the way you get customers, and then the way you keep customers, and then how you grow your customer base by using your existing customers to get new customers. So, like I said, best visualized as a funnel with get, keep, and grow. Physical and virtual products, they have slightly different funnels because virtual products don't really have all the steps. You don't have someone passing by your store and then coming into your store and looking at something physical and then maybe buying the thing. With virtual, it's either they downloaded it or they didn't, or they bought a subscription or they didn't. There's no gray area like there is with physical products. So the beginning of the get part of the funnel is different. So this is the physical version. As you can see, there are a lot of steps. There's awareness, there's interest. So awareness, it's like they know your store exists. Interest, they maybe come into your store and they've looked through the window and they can see the product sitting. Consideration, they've seen your store, they've seen 3 other stores that sell the same thing. Maybe they like your price the best. Maybe they like it because your walls are painted blue. Who knows? That's a consideration. And then purchase. And then it comes from there. Keeping them, and then you're trying to grow both your existing customers through a number of means, plus getting them to get you new customers. So this is the physical version. This is the virtual version. So you can see there's just acquire, the projector works. There's acquire and there's activate. There's just 2. So they've downloaded it, they've bought a subscription.
DJ, you're not very audible from back here.
What?
You're not very audible from back here.
So, demand creation. So this is how you get people into that funnel. This is how the sales funnel works. You have to create demand for whatever it is you're selling. You can create demand either through free ways or paid ways.
That is the first part of this funnel.
Yes, that's the very beginning part.
Demand creation. How do you create demand for your products?
Right. This is your demand creation. This is how you're feeding people into that funnel, like that. So
this is slightly different. This is for virtual products. That is that you showed us for virtual products.
Yeah.
Things like apps that Ian is doing. Things like websites. Like that. The way in which they create demand is different from, say, physical products would do it. How do they get visitors to the site? How do they get more people using the app? Methods through which you do that.
So it's going to be a little different based on what you're selling. So some free demand creation channels, think of things that you don't have to spend money on. So if you have a website and you already have the website up, you create a blog on your website. You can get on Facebook and start using those tools for free. You know, Facebook, Instagram, they all have those tools tied together. Social media, like I said. You can go give speeches. That's something that people don't think about as a free way to generate demand for your business, especially if it's more of a service or if it's more of a virtual thing where you could say, well, at the end of your speech, you can say, well, you can go on my website, bodyupa.com, download an ebook, download the app or something. So that's a nice free way. Sometimes with speeches, you even get paid to go give the speech. So it's a win-win. And then guest articles publications. So if someone else has a blog, or you know someone at the local newspaper or something like that, sometimes they'll let you write guest articles. I've done that before with some of the business publications in Iowa. You know, they put out a call for people who would like to submit articles on a certain topic. I thought, well, might as well. It doesn't cost me anything to do that. So, and so then, if you're at the point where you can spend money to make money, there are some other options. Definitely exhaust your free options first. There's no reason to pay a public relations firm if you're not making any money yet. It's just you're wasting money at that point. Use your free options first. But if you're at the point, maybe you're trying to scale, maybe you're trying to really grow your business, you have some more expensive options. So public relations, advertising, anything, newspaper, TV, radio, whatever your budget is. I mean, I've seen people driving by on loudspeakers. I think that's an option. So think about that. Trade shows. Depending on your industry, almost every industry, at least in the US, almost every industry has a trade show. So, for example, my app Cider Finder, there is a cider industry trade show the first week of February every year, which involves about 20% educational events and 80% tastings of cider. So you kind of pay to have a little bit of fun, but you're making a ton of connections when you do those sort of things. And then, of course, consultants. So you want to be aware, this is why we went over customer segments a couple classes ago. You really want to start nailing down what your customer segment is, because you don't want to try to get people that aren't in your customer segment. You're just wasting, either if you're using the free ones, you're wasting your time, or especially if you're using paid options, you're wasting both your time and your money if you're not targeting people who are in your customer segments.
Can I give an example
yes.
of that? So remember when we started the class and we were being asked, who is your target market, and you say everyone. Mm-hmm. So if you go do a paid ad, then you're going to try to target everyone because you have and to target everyone, that means you have to spend more money because you're trying to reach as many people as possible. But if you know who your target market is, then you spend your resources very well knowing who exactly you're trying to get that message.
That's right. And so we were talking about earlier, a couple sessions ago, when we were trying to figure out our customer segments, what tools you can use to figure out some way to target things. You know, utilize the ability of any of those free options. So the social graph on social media. If you have, if you're doing an email marketing campaign, it's also a free way. There's some free email tools that I can talk about. That'll break people down by different characteristics that they tell you. So really utilize the ability of those tools, the free tools and the paid tools, to target your messaging, figure out who is getting your messaging, what they're buying from you, and what channels they're using. And especially if you have existing customers, you've already got that contact information, keep reaching out to those people. Sometimes, as we'll go further in this, sometimes you can get those people to come back and buy some more things. You can get them to buy more expensive accessories to whatever you've sold them, and if you treat them well enough, they'll tell their friends, and their friends will enter your funnel. So there are some terms when we're talking about getting people into this funnel that, especially if you start talking to folks outside, especially in the US, they're going to want to know these numbers. And so these numbers are relatively easy to calculate once you get going. The first one is your CAC, that's your customer acquisition cost. So that's how much does it cost per customer, and not just people who are visiting your website, not just people who are passing by your stores, it's actual people who have spent money. How much did it cost you to get them to spend money on whatever it is you're selling?
Can I re-explain that?
Yes.
Customer acquisition cost is basically you're trying to estimate how much you spent in creating awareness to actually get that one customer to come and spend money on your product or service. Trying to estimate that. So if you're probably spending on advertising on a particular platform, if you spend maybe $5 and you manage to get maybe 20 customers, then how much are you spending? Right? Per customer. So you do the math there and find out how much per customer you spend to be able to acquire that customer.
$5 divided by 20 customers. That's your amount. So, and then as you go along, this amount will change. It will change with every single customer because it's an average. It's an ongoing average because they spend different amounts, but it may cost you different amounts to get them. So it's something you can keep track of, one of your metrics. Each customer has a lifetime value, an LTV. So that's the total amount of money that they will ever spend with you their entire life. It could be 3 months, it could be 3 years, it could be 30 years. It all depends how often they keep coming back, how much they spend each time. Again, this is why you want to kind of keep track of that. You don't have to keep track of it for everyone, but if you want to have accurate metrics, the more data points you have, the better. Yep. And so, definitely keep track of the lifetime value. The churn, you'll hear the term churn. Most of the folks don't return. So the lower your churn percentage, the better you're doing at keeping your customers in that funnel somewhere. They're not escaping out the back end and leaving you forever. So,
and if they leave, that means there's a need you're not meeting.
Yes. So they're going somewhere else.
They're going somewhere else. So you need to figure out something.
All right. And so overall, your lifetime value had better be higher than your CAC. Because if you're spending more money than they ever spend in your store, you're doing something wrong. You're losing money on it. You don't want that. So always make sure they are spending more than you have spent on them to get them in the door. And like I said, lower churn means you're going to have the higher lifetime value. So you want that churn. Different businesses have different churn levels. I mean, some of them are going to be single digits, and it's great that they're in single digits. Some businesses, I mean, it's 20, 30%. Like some software businesses have 20, 30, 40% churn, and they just kind of build that into their. But they're targeting a much broader group of people, and so it doesn't matter how
for websites, I think they call it what, bounce rate?
Yes.
And for churn?
Yes.
Let's say you're searching for something on the internet. Where do I find this? And then you see a link. Click on it, you go there and find out the headline that they gave is not related to the details that are there. Immediately someone leaves your page. Google keeps track of those things. How often people are leaving your page after just logging. And so that means you have a very high bounce rate or a high churn. People are not getting what they want. So that is for the mobile sort of applications. Same thing with the physical. If people come to you and what you promised is different from what they find there, then they're going to lose. Right.
Wow. So, Jay, I have a question. How do you get to easily track this? For example, for our businesses that do physical products, how do I easily track like the churn?
So for physical businesses, it's harder to track the churn than it is for virtual. Virtual, you've got the tools built in. Physical, you'll only know it if the people that have been coming into your store are no longer coming in and they're going to your competitor products.
So basically, like you say, you take a record of the customers that come, the sales that you make every day. So it's about keeping track of how many of them keep coming back. How many of them no longer come, why? Trying to find out why the person that didn't come back didn't. Maybe they were farming and they left farming. That may not be your problem, but it may be another reason. It may be a you problem. So
yeah. I need to actively actually start tracking this one.
Yeah, churn is tougher with physical businesses. It's not impossible. Your estimate is going to be a little more rough than it is with software where you have the executive. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's going away, but I may be
sorry, you're coming back.
There is what we do at Lizzy Majestics. We do actually follow customers companies that have physical products. Now, one, it's through the records keeping. I do believe he also sells credit. You have creditors. People sell on credit and they
I stopped. It hit 6-7 million people are not taking calls.
So it's actually one of the ways you can get
Instead give discount now.
Secondly, your data, the physical data you're having, also like your salespeople also know these people have taken long to come to your business. Why? Are they dead or they are alive? Have they left agriculture, as he said? If they have left, that is not true. They just went to maybe they are in something, some other thing. Maybe in most agriculture it could be that someone who leaves agriculture, they always want, maybe they made losses. After me, I left agriculture partly because I made a lot of 10 million. I couldn't go back and I start again. Wow. That was huge on me. But you need to keep data for you to know your churn and frequent follow-up with the customers. Sometimes you pick a call. I don't know how often your salespeople, you may not do that by yourself, but your salespeople, they know the client more than you. That's why in most cases, your salespeople can start up the same business you're doing because they have the client base. So they can start the same business, you find they become your unlike. So I would advise you just need to have a proper record. Apart from the online, the virtual, you need to have, it will require you to have a lot of paperwork, and maybe you can do the computer system. There is an ERP, I will get for you the name, but I was using it one time to also track the customers. So you can use that. The life becomes easier. You even know sometimes it keeps on increasing, your churn keeps on increasing, and actually your lifetime customers are not, you are not having lifetime customers. And then you will again find out the moment churn increases, your sales, you will start now even doing more adverts and everything to ensure that your dead customers, the dead clients, come back to life.
Our IT guy maybe has a solution to our problem.
Yes, now for me also. We are having a system actually that can help you manage that. You get to have your customer information, your songs, inventory, whatever you want, procurement, everything. Manage. Just that in this training we are limited to one that is also there. And you're welcome.
These guys, your business card.
I received today a quotation from their called Akelo Banker, digitalization. They want 12 million to do everything you've said for us. Yeah. So there's a
asking me the difference.
No. I'm just telling you that I'm already seeking for something like that, so that on my laptop I can know how many percentage of my farmers are coming from this account, how many are doing this.
In simple terms, that's your problem.
No, in other words, the 12 million was a lot. Like,
yeah, we don't have.
in other words, I'm willing to hear what you have. But anyway, yeah. It's okay, I think we can carry on.
I can do for 100K.
Okay, kind of on this topic, has anyone ever heard of a CRM, a customer relationship manager?
Yeah.
So there's free versions. You know, like Salesforce is the big paid version in the US, but they're free. Customer. And the most free one that you probably already have is Microsoft Excel or a spreadsheet, because you just keep all this stuff in a spreadsheet. So
I beg your pardon? No, the free ones are?
Basically,
the free one's a spreadsheet, but there are other free ones online. If you just Google free CRM, I don't know the names of them, but I know free ones exist. Yes.
How safe is that free one? You know, we want to use it sometimes. Free things for us here. Free things end up becoming costly.
Right.
You find when it becomes easier for someone to hijack the data, then you end up with bigger losses. Maybe in states it's easier because of the policy. but for us here in Africa, most especially Uganda, you will find something going wrong.
Say,
Maybe if you can explain more.
the freest and safest one is a spreadsheet on a thumb drive. And the only way someone hacks that is by stealing your thumb drive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can just know how to create the format on the YouTube videos on anything with this app. Even if you want to make a form.
All right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm adding on that. Depending on the number of customers, if the customers are not very many, spreadsheet actually helps. I remember when we shifted to our new premises, we've been having every data of almost our clients, all of them, in the spreadsheet. So we sent like bulk SMSs informing them that I had shifted. And it just strangles in my head. Like, there are guys who had served like in 2019 and had forgotten about that. And then we start, and actually some came back for services again. So I think it's one thing to keep this data, it's another thing to use it.
To make use of it.
Yeah, so I think, I'm sure some of you already have Excel sheets. Me already had, I still have. But I've not been using it for. So I think it's a reminder that it's one thing to have the data, another to use it. So yeah.
The second bit, how to use it. Now for us, it's stacks of papers, it's counter books.
So we are running out of time. We do have a couple activities that we need to get through. So I want everyone for the next couple minutes here, find a partner or find a couple friends and talk about what free and paid channels you want to use, and what, I mean, if you're keeping track of your CAC, your LTV, your churn right now, you can talk about that sort of, or how you're going to keep track of that. So why don't we take at most 5 minutes and talk amongst yourselves and decide on this stuff. We'll have a few people share what they decide.
Yeah, so our free channels, will apply for the big ones, advertise, then we also usually go to procurement officers also ask them when they are qualifying, so that is apply. Then also our paid channels. Our paid channels get marketing officer. And then how we measure our CAC, LTV and churn is we have adequate reports so far for now.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you. Us as aggregate, we use a lot of Excel to have records of our customers, because once they come, we take down their records in our database. It is a hard copy book. Then afterwards, I transfer this on an Excel sheet that I've created to keep track. Ever since we opened our doors to farmers, we have each and every detail of every customer that we have served, plus where they come from, and the enterprise that they're doing. So that we do it a lot. And then two, we also increase our visibility through social media. We have a Facebook page, and then Twitter, we also have the Twitter handle where people get to contact us, do a lot of the things that we do. And obviously also go out talking to people, train them, train farmers in their farmer groups. These are free channels that we use to reach to our farmers. And then as a company, we are exploring the potential of using the radio stations, television channels, and then also sponsoring events where we see there's our target, client. Basically, we will be attending most of that. So we are looking at doing a lot of that. Secondly, how do we measure our churn rate? We're a startup. Ideally, I think I'm proud to say that we have a high retention rate of our clients. Most of the clients that keep coming back are the ones that we have served and they are satisfied and they keep coming back. So of course we are able to tell who is coming back and who is not doing that by the track of the records that we have. So basically, that's how we do it as a company at Aggregate. So we're hoping to do better actually from here. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, for me in my village, when I don't speak, the village meetings don't start. That's why everyone says, why don't I go first? Today I was in a remote setting. Thus I needed others to speak. This is Remote Global Solutions. Our channels, the paid, the free channels, social media, speeches, you know, we do a lot of that. Articles and publications. Why this friend of mine, the Kataras, is disturbing me. I do write books. I have 3 books in my name. Only that I don't have copies now, but before the end of this session, we'll get some copies, but not for free, only 50,000. I do blogging. Those are the free ones we use. Paid advertising, or what we call advertising, we do that. Consultants, we normally get consultants here and there. As we are developing a mini ERP, the Oracle, the mini one, we had the consultants, they came and saw what we were doing. They had to advise us on what to do. So we had to pay them, but you know, sometimes starting up businesses, paying consultants, it ends up doing also a lot of your profits. Our clients are the youth, mothers, single mothers, or the widows, and we also look into those with HIV, the ones for them to do more. And then the customer acquisition cost. For now, our customer acquisition cost, because we pay for advertising, so it is advertisement was only once done, so it's not that expensive because we do radio mentions and small radio. You just give sometimes the DJs some small tokens, they mention you, so that happens. And then our LTV, it's 98% of our clients. We don't have much clients defaulting. Why? Because we follow our clients on dot. We have a journey with them, so it's 98%. Though we also have a churn. We have 2%. You know, their clients, they come and tell you all the best stories of their businesses, but on ground there is no business actually. They keep on telling you the time to visit them. They tell you I'm in Yumbe. You say okay, tomorrow you call, I'm in Idiofe. So they give you a lot of stories. So we have 2% of our clients. How do we measure our clients? We have hard copy records, we have soft copy records, that's the Excel and the spreadsheet. We have, then we have a mini Oracle ERP that we use for managing our clients. So that is that.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're not clapping for me, Claudia, please.
Right, your company, customized clothing. Our free channels, speeches. I talk a lot about the ideal. Literally, some people have even started calling me the ideal because I talk a lot about what we do. Like I interest them, come and check us out. WhatsApp. I have a Facebook page, but I don't know. I think I last posted a product there in 2020.
Not 1992.
we have a blog, but yeah, like I've really been very I'm not a social media person, but I really want to become one. Yeah. I think that has been one of our biggest challenges, social media. How do we measure our CAC? Customer acquisition. Actually, at Ditil, we take records of clients. Even when you don't want, some people don't want a receipt, but at least we ask you for your details and we write a receipt in your name. You can retain it if you don't want it, and then we have a book where we record your name and we keep it with your contact. The only challenge is that we have not followed up that information. Like we have it, people don't come back and you don't even care calling them to ask why they've not come back. So I feel challenged to start following up our clients. Those ones that have not been turning up. Those that have turned up, we always give gifts to our clients. For example, if you have done a comeback like 5 times and we know that you have given us like 300k, out of that 300k we shall get for you like a gift of 20k. If we've made like a profit on you for 300k, we can say maybe we give them a gift of 30k, a nice gift. We buy it and we wrap it and we give it to you. Maybe sometimes at the end of the year, that is when we usually do it. We call our clients, find them where they are, and we give them a gift. Yeah, that's what we do. Our churn, yeah, like I said, we've not followed up, so we don't know why those other clients have not come back. Sometimes I hear negative feedback. So sometimes I'm like, what if they say, but I have during these interviews, I tried to be brave and call some clients who I know who have not come back, and I sensed maybe they didn't come back because something didn't come out well. Actually, I was fearing for no reason. Someone tells you I migrated, what. So I just feel encouraged to call the people that have not come back. Maybe they are dead, so that I resurrect them. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We're going to go through the basics of the funnels. I've included in your notes the definitions for all these things, so you don't need to like vigorously scribble. We're just going to quickly go through this stuff. So like I was saying, this for the physical version, there's more steps in that get part of the funnel. There's a little more effort to finally get someone to pick something off the shelf, bring it up to the cash register, give you money, and off they go. So there's the awareness, they know you exist. There's interest, they see you have the product they like in there, but they haven't come in your store yet, they're still looking through the window. Consideration, you're in the store. Maybe they're touching the merchandise, but they haven't brought it up to the cash register yet. And then purchase. You want to get everyone down to that purchase that is looking in your window and maybe touching the stuff in your store and get them to the cash register. So it's multiple steps, it takes a while. But
as you can see, the funnel is narrow.
Yes.
At awareness, which is wider, there are a lot more people who may be aware of your product.
Yes.
And even before the funnel, there are those who may not even be aware. But there are those, so we're starting right at awareness. There are a lot more people who may be aware that your service is available. But then, how many of them get interested? It's a fewer number. Then out of those that get interested, how do you get them to consider you as a provider of that service? And then finally, they get to the point of making a purchase with you. So it's about how do you keep skimming through the big market of everyone, of those particular people that will bring you to finally purchase.
So, and like we said, for the physical products, you have more. Yes.
What is this viral loop?
The viral loop.
Yes.
So that sometimes people, when they purchase stuff, they're going to come back in and purchase stuff again and again and again and again. And sometimes they don't get in the place where your keep and your grow part of it, like you don't end up upselling or cross-selling, which we'll get to. They just come in and buy the same thing over and over and over again. Maybe they need the same, I don't know, a pound of coffee or something. They just want a pound of coffee. But then they come back because they like your store. And so that's how you get that viral.
Those terms you're using, upsell, cross-sell.
We're going to get to that.
We shall get to those.
Right.
It's basically get the same client, giving them other reasons to spend money.
Yes.
Within your business.
So that
they may
viral
have come for maybe a cloth, a piece of cloth. Next thing they're coming for a bag. Next thing they're coming for shoes and so on. So basically, what you're aiming for is to have that viral loop. That the customer who comes to you the first time will keep coming.
We use that a lot for our business of seeds. If someone comes to buy a maize seed, definitely they will need maybe fertilizer, maybe an agrochemical, maybe later buying sacks, maybe...
that is slightly different. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in the grow.
Okay.
This is just, they're buying the same exact thing.
Coming for the same thing. Coming for the maize seed again.
Maybe the customer has
Same product.
They're coming and buying the same bag of seeds.
But for that to happen, you have to keep the awareness part. Growing the awareness, because once you go quiet, then they'll go to the other person who gives them the same option of what you're offering.
And so, like I said, for virtual stuff, it's fewer steps. They've either downloaded it or they've not. They've either visited the website or they've not. And then that's acquire, and then activate. Have they actually given you money? So have they bought the deluxe version of the app? Have they bought the subscription on the website? It's fewer steps because it's much easier to keep track of that stuff with virtual products. That's get. Keep is that middle part. This is where you're hanging on to them. You're not selling them any more stuff yet, but they're firmly your customer. They are your person now. So physical and virtual, this part of the funnel is very similar for both physical and virtual, because it's really just making sure you're hanging on to customers, making sure you're giving them a reason to keep coming back, utilizing your business. So
what you talked about, giving a customer who has spent 300,000 something worth 20,000. That's your loyalty program.
Yes.
Customer who has spent something.
Right.
Giving back.
So there's loyalty programs, there's product updates, there's email lists, there's occasional phone calls if you operate that way. If you just keeping in touch with the people as you're going along. And like I said, virtual products, it's almost identical. It's just a reason to keep people locked in as your customer. Then that other part of where it's going out, that grow part, this is where it's going to be a little different again. So for physical products, you have these 4 different things where you can grow the same customer. Not where you're selling the same thing to them, you're not selling them that pound of coffee every couple weeks. You're selling them new stuff. You're unbundling. You're taking something where it's a larger thing, a larger package, like maybe a bundle of things, and you're turning that into separate items. So maybe they really liked one part of a bundle, well, you could sell them that thing again and not the entire bundle. The upsell, that's when you're selling them a more expensive thing. So they bought the basic version of something, well, maybe they're in the market for the slightly newer version of that thing. So that's where you can upsell them. Cross-selling, it's where you're selling them something related. It's something that's complementary to the thing you sold. So maybe you sold them the bag of coffee. Well, maybe they also need an electric kettle, or maybe they need coffee makers. That's the cross-sell. That's how you get them in there. And then referrals. You get them to refer other people to your business, and that's where that, as you can see on that, the full image there, that's where that viral loop takes you back around to the beginning again. Because you're getting more people aware of what you're doing. For virtual products, it's similar. You have upselling again. Next sell, that's where you sell them the next version ahead of time. Or you sell them the next version. So like, if your computer's running Windows 7, the next sell they sell you Windows 10. Cross-sell is the same, referral is the same, but that's the difference, where you're selling version 2 of whatever website or app or whatever that you built. Maybe they spent $5 on version 1. Well, version 2 will give that to you for the low price of $3. If you hadn't bought version 1, it'd be $7. So that's where you can get people to continue giving you money for conversions and different products.
So yeah, in simple terms, grow is about the same customer. How do I make more money from this one customer that already bought one product?
Not just buying that same bag of coffee over and over, but buying
what other options can I give them? So if, for example, I already make t-shirts of 30K, how do I make maybe a better quality t-shirt of 50K? Then they can buy that as well as the 30K. So things like that. Same customer, what other options? Like for me, I say, cross-sell, you've sold him grain, he may need fertilizer, he may need training, he may need so yeah, exactly.
And kind of going, yes.
Can I put a question to you?
Sure.
You are in tourism. Very many times you have been bringing new customers. Do we see that is in favor?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And so we were talking a bit about viral loops. Some of it is, you're getting people to buy that same thing over and over again, but that bigger viral loop where you're going from the end of the funnel out back into the get part, that's that self-reinforcing loop. It brings in new customers with basically no part. You shouldn't be spending any money on this. You shouldn't really be spending any time. It should be just, you've done such an amazing job, you've sold such an amazing product that people want to go out, rushing out, telling their friends, bringing them to your store.
Sounds awkward state.
Yes.
When's back lost love?
Yeah, actually.
So from the whole purpose of this is for you to treat your customers as well as you possibly can, to keep them as satisfied as possible, so that they tell their friends. One more activity. We're going to do this for just not even 10 minutes because we're running out of time. Find a partner to discuss what your get, keep, and grow strategies are. So let's take about 5 minutes to do that, and then we'll wrap up.
How are you going to get your customers? What are you going to do to keep them? What are you going to do to grow or sell more to the same customer?
So 5 minutes, and we'll get back together.
Actually, when I went through it, it was something we all know about. One of the strategies of how I can get my customer is one by producing good quality products, which I'm so confident about. That's one thing, my attractive process. And then another thing is, in order to see that we get new customers, what I do is door-to-door or interface. Like when I have an interaction with people and I come up with my products to them. So that's one way how I can easily bring in my customers more. I can get my customers. And then thirdly, I use the social media handle or marketing, whereby on my personal social media addresses, I so much advertise my products. I take the pictures of my food crops and I give them, I share them with people. I also make other relatives or friends around me to share them, and it's through that I'm able to get my customers. Now, strategies how I can keep the ready-made market is one, most times after selling off shoes or in the due course of shoes, I get responses or queries from my clients, and what I do mostly, I respond instantly on the queries of my client so as to see that I satisfy their needs and demands. Secondly, I also, in the due course of interacting with my clients or my customers, I get to know their needs and demands so that I also fulfill them there and then. Those are some of the way forwards. Now, my growth strategy is one, I had a niche market which was majorly a rural city, but due to the demands and advice from friends, I tried to open up slowly. Right now I have demands which come across within the Western region and outside the region. It's through also the communication means I use the network of networking.
Thank you.
I need to re-explain. By grow, we don't mean getting more customers, but same customer getting them to spend more with you? Getting the
Does that
same
make sense?
customer to spend more with you. How are you going to do that?
Thank you very much. Through using that approach, one of the means I use in order to sustain my customers, one, whenever my customers take my products, I assure them of their guarantee, and secondly, most times I always tell them that in case their shoes get problems, I always encourage them to tell them I can easily service them either at no cost or at a lower cost, so as to maintain them within the range. And secondly, it's one means which has helped me to networking with them that they make for me reference out of it. Thank you very much.
Even a referral, they may not be the ones spending the money, but they may send you another client. How do you make sure they send you clients? Like for us, for our tour business, we give a small commission, even for our customers who send us other customers.
Dai till here.
Welcome.
How do we get our clients? One thing that I do most, if I know that my husband actually markets me more. So if I know that my husband is going in a very like a space like this, I always make sure he has an attire made from Daiti. And that is why actually I get more referrals. Even if he's traveling, the clients I have got that are not in Uganda, I have got them because I make sure when he's traveling, I make specific unique attires. And people keep asking him, who made this? And then he tells them, my wife. Yeah, so I just tell them, take your measurements. They take their measurements, they send me their measurements. I make their clothing and send their clothing. So that is one way how we get clients. And another way is we put our clothing on dummies. We display them out at our shops. And sometimes I put them on my WhatsApp status. How to keep our clients. One thing I have been thinking about just right now is to improve on the ambience at Daiti. Like when you come there, you just it is a tailoring space, like clothes here, off-cuts there. Like I was just thinking, like I need to create, someone should come and they feel calm while they wait for their clothes, to just be calm, to have a very good environment around, not to just see off-cuts, scissors, tape measures. Yeah, so that's one thing I really feel we need to do. And then to keep delivering on time. Keep delivering on time, because it's one of the major things. And we've been good at it. And also informing clients. Sometimes if we are not able to deliver for you on time, we call you. We tell you that, oh, you were supposed to come and pick your clothes tomorrow, but we would like you to give us more 2 days. We finish. If it is inconveniencing, we can deliver for you. If it's okay with you, then you come at the show. So that someone doesn't come and bounce. And we make sure that we don't repeat the apology. After the 2 days, we don't call again. After even today, we've not made sure, we've not made it, don't come. We only make one apology and we make sure we follow it up. How are we going to grow? Make sure that those same clients come. Be apologetic. Be apologetic. If a client says this is not what I asked for, sometimes in our minds we think we have nailed it. Have you ever had that assurance that today the client is going to be happy? Then they come and they're like, what have you done? This is not what I wanted. Sometimes you want to react. Okay, sometimes we react. So now, sometimes you react because you imagine the excitement you had. You even called the client, your cloth is ready. You're like, we have this one. Then, so to learn to be apologetic to say I am sorry. We would like to do it again the way you want it, and we ask you for an explanation, a clear one. I think we've been bad at that. To just be apologetic and ask the client to re-echo, and we foot the bill for our mistake. Yeah.
Thank you.
Today Jay bought some kitenge material. We're going to test guide you and see their gatekeeper.
We gotta do it.
No time for one more. We'll take us in.
The rainmaker.
You know, for us, we sell information. All our artifacts there is just the story behind it that we say. You come and you see, you don't go away with it. Unless you want to purchase, then we can give them to you. How do we get our customers? They are free radio talk shows. When I want to go to this radio, this is the program for it, I will just say I want to go there. They have never refused. They know what I'm going to talk. They would even put up someone who had been booked before. At weddings, even at funerals. One time I talked about how we can get a culprit who is poisoned somebody at a funeral. Yeah, traditionally. And the tools, we have them in the museum. Well, we don't come and see the tools. Referrals, our friends are there. They're also referring first to us. The hotels, when they have our brochures, even the flyers, and visitors come, particularly it has been happening with the golden coats, they refer them to our museum. Signage, when you put up a signpost, that's when they will come in. Organizing a festival, or even participating in a festival, is enough to get customers for us. How do we keep them? By introducing new artifacts. And to give them bite size. There are the notes. When I begin talking, there's no end. I can talk for 5 hours, not repeating a single word. And standing. So you don't give all, just give bite size. Bite size. Then keeping them wanting to know more about what they have seen. You get that? When our visitors come in, our customers come in, first of all, you find out what they are more interested in. Now, as you go through what they are more interested in, you take them to those other areas where they thought it was nothing. Like you come to my museum, you are seeing those religious things there, probably for making rain. But when I begin talking to you about a broom, you will know that there is even more to learn about. How do we grow? One of the ways we grow our customers is by getting them to know more of what they think they want to know. There are people who come assuming that we know this, but when you give them another version of the same information, they will come again. They will want to come again and spend time getting what? More information, even about the same thing. Because sometimes when they go out there, someone tells them another version, they will come back and say, but they say ABCD. Say, yeah, but this is for ABCD. I rest my case.
Thank you. For those of you who have not started customer discovery, it is time to start customer discovery. Because everything's done. So now we've done 4 of the boxes. We've done value proposition. We've done customer segments. We've done channels. We've done relationships. So we've done all sorts of stuff these last few days here. So you can start filling in. If you haven't started filling in this part of your business model canvas, all 4 of these boxes, now is the time to start doing that. stuff from today, you know, the different channels, the free and paid channels you're going to use. Your get, keep, and grow. That'll go in that box. Next time we're going to talk about these two boxes down here, the money in and the money out. So we're going to talk about ways to get more money in. We're going to talk about ways to control that money going out, so less of it maybe is going out.